Jurassic World Rebirth is now just 6 weeks away as of today, and whilst we'll inevitably get new toys and new posters and new popcorn buckets along the way, there's probably no more trailers coming. It's likely we've seen what we're going to see. Martin Krebs says during the new trailer that there are 24 species surviving on this island, but what are those 24 species, or what could they be? Let's have a look at the confirmed and rumoured dinosaurs of Jurassic World Rebirth. Let's start off with the big three, the land, air and sea creatures that inspire the entire plot of the film, as Zora and the Dino Gang race to retrieve their DNA and save the world from heart disease, somehow. The land dinosaur is Titanosaurus, a gigantic sauropod of indeterminate origin. Titanosaurus itself is a dubious genus, but what isn't dubious is how stunning these things are. Their two-tone, striped and splotched colour scheme, that long whip-like tail, and of course, the fish fin-like sails that bring a pop of colour and a pop of weirdness. What also isn't dubious is how horny these things are, because they have been breeding like absolute bunnies. Has the potential to be one of the best sauropods in the entire franchise. The air animal is Quetzalcoatlus, returning from the previous film, but this time downsized drastically and redesigned entirely. Maybe to showcase InGen's experimental work or genetic meddling. The most interesting thing about this cobalt-feathered, quilled Quetz is actually its nest. We've got this Mayan-looking structure carved directly into the face of an enormous mountain, which the Atstarkid has claimed for itself and its inevitably very angry babies. Who exactly lived on this island, built this temple, perhaps to the Quetzalcoatlus itself? Maybe we'll find out. The final of our big three is the wet one, Mosasaurus, once again returning from the previous films, but now de-scooted, less crocodilian and much more naturalistic in look, with its counter-shaded, striated belly and tempered brown and green sort of colour scheme. We see this thing exhibiting some really interesting hunting behaviours in the trailers, both teaming up with the Spinosauruses of course, but also pushing the boat against this big rocky outcropping. Both suggest an intelligent, thoughtful hunter that doesn't just rely on its enormous size. With those three gone, let's talk Jurassic Classics, my first album. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is back in a retro-inspired scene, recreating the river rapid sequence from the first novel. The design has received widespread praise already, and for good reason. This Rex has been hitting the weights. It's bulkier, heftier, more powerful than we've seen in a very long time. Rexy often looked a little bit emaciated in the previous trilogy, but this new Rex with those big keratin displays, the hench arms, is already going down as an all-timer Rex design in the franchise. Rex is back, but so is its mortal enemy from the days of Jurassic Park 3. A vastly different Spinosaurus will be returning with not one, but three of the large-sailed theropods stalking the waterways of this still unnamed dinosaur-filled island. They seem to be potentially a sibling trio, each with their own slight unique takes on the design and little details like how the stripes are formed or the blue coloration appearing on one of them. They didn't appear in the second trailer at all, and we've never seen them outside of the water, so I think there's still some pretty big surprises to come from these three. What did appear in the second trailer is Aqualops, popping its big head and bigger eyes out of a backpack. This Aqualops is called Dolores, and it's going to be befriended by the youngest child of this stranded family, Isabella Delgado. Aqualops is a ceratopsian like your Triceratopses, but its frill is much smaller and flatter than others, and as you can see it's also got these very teeny little nose horns as well. I think its design here is maybe a little bit too close to the Microceratus from the previous film, rather than an actual Aqualops, but hey, it is cute at least. But hey, it is cute if nothing else, and it's probably a bit of a menace. Making its comeback after being strangled by Chris Pratt in the previous film, the Lophosaurus. It doesn't seem like it's going to play a major role, unfortunately. We've only seen it so far in this very brief clip in the first trailer, as it spots the Delgado family and probably wakes up the sleeping Rex in the process. But we did actually get a pretty good look at this thing thanks to a promo ad. Now colour scheme wise it's much more reminiscent of the Dominion Dilophosaurus, but those classic stripes are gone and instead we have this smattering now of black leopard-like spots. Our final two on-screen creatures aren't typical dinosaurs, but mutants. The Distortus Rex is the new prime antagonist, a mutated T-Rex with bulbous growths, a misshapen jaw, and a vastly increased size. We still don't know too much about it and its creation. Was it entirely a mistake? Was it InGen's first experimentations with hybrids gone wrong? An attempt to make a more ferocious T-Rex? The answer isn't clear yet. But what is clear is that this thing is going to make for a threat unlike anything we've seen before. Fully revealed in the new trailer, our second of the two mutants is the Mutadon, an unholy combination of Pteranodon and Velociraptor, and a little bit of primeval for good measure. Like the D-Rex, the creation of this thing is shrouded in a little bit of mystery. It's still unclear whether it's a prototype hybrid, or if they just spilled a little pterosaur on their Velociraptor. But either way, it's probably the most divisive design in the entire film. Let me know in the comments your take on this thing personally. Now, our next three dinosaurs haven't appeared on screen, but we do know they're in the film. Velociraptor is back, as it always is, and whilst it seems to have a pretty small role in Rebirth, its new Jurassic Park 3 inspired design is a thing of beauty. Revealed initially weirdly enough by a balloon company of all things, this new raptor with its quills, that grey coloration, and then this big pop of blue-orange colour across the skull is already one of my favourites. Let's hope it looks as good in action though as it does in, well, balloon form. Ankylosaurus is also back, having appeared both on a official size chart and, more recently, appearing on the Dr. Pepper tie-in website for the film. We always find these dinosaurs in the strangest of places. The design really hasn't changed much over the years for the Ankylosaurus. It's maybe got a slightly thinner and longer skull here, but with absolutely no hint of it at all in the trailer, it's going to be interesting to see how it's utilised in the film. Some of these dinosaurs will be background creatures. Our final confirmed dinosaur-ish is Parasaurolophus. In fact, it was the very first dinosaur we ever knew about for Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, it hasn't been seen in toys or anything, but we have behind the scenes images of the poor creature's detached head, and we can see its rather gigantic corpse in this other behind the scenes image. Likely the food source for that sleeping Tyrannosaurus Rex. I don't think we're going to see a living Parasaur in Rebirth, and there were suggestions this could be Myosaurus instead, potentially even Edmontosaurus, but I don't think it makes sense to create this gigantic carcass and then change the species. I think they've been umming and ahhing about it, and they've landed on Parasaurolophus, but we'll have to wait and see. Our next few dinosaurs are all rumours, some more reliable than the others. Let's take a look at these and why I think they're in the film in the first place. Triceratops is rumoured mainly because of this, an Amazon listing of a t-shirt describing a fight between the Triceratops and the Spinosaurus. It could just be for the shirt, or it could be recreating an event from the film itself. We don't know, and that's why it's down here and only gets 3 lines in my script. We are going to see it again in a couple of toys though. Even if the Parasaur familiar isn't Myosaura has long been rumoured for the film. I suspect the corpse is either Parasaurolophus or a CGI overlay of the Myosaura at this point, and I do personally lean on the side of it being Parasaurolophus. These two could be switched when the film comes out. We can only go on what information we have. Pteranodon is being suggested as another pterosaur mainly because of a toy line. Now, toys are famously unreliable for these films, but this particular set does also include Henry Loomis, and well, he's definitely in the film unless they're really going to pull a last minute switcheroo on us. The blue head crest is really giving big the Lost World Jurassic Park finale vibes, eh? Another pterosaur, Rhamphorhynchus, has also been suggested because of toys. Now, Takara Tomy, a Japanese toy maker, posted this image of their Rebirth line of toys. Note Triceratops making an appearance here as well as this, confirmed to be a Rhamphorhynchus pterosaur. I don't think it's these little things landing on the Titanosaurus. They look more like birds to me, but you never know. It is a somewhat likely inclusion, I would say. Lastly, for the rumours, we have Compsognathus. Now, this one is mainly just because there's buzz about its appearance, rumours in dark shadows and alleyways. But there is the suggestion that this very early shot we saw of decontamination work being done in New York City is because of the presence of the Compy, kind of replacing the rats in New York. They're also a staple of the franchise. We're going to see them again in just a second in a toy, and since most of the other classics are returning, you would say Compy has a good shot. Now, if all of those make it in, that's 17 dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals for the film. We were never likely to see all 24, but it's still a healthy, chunky roster of creatures that leaves a little room for more mystery and some sequels. I want to talk about one more rumoured set of dinosaurs before we go though. Captives released an image of their new toys just yesterday, and it includes dinosaurs like Sinoceratops, Kentrosaurus, and even a Jurassic Park 3 era Velociraptor, or at least what looks like one. As well as, interestingly, 2 versions of the D-Rex, perhaps an adult and a youngling, perhaps the lab scene in 2010, and then a later one in 2027. Either way, a lot of people have taken it already to mean these dinosaurs are appearing in the film, and I'm not ruling that out by any stretch of the imagination. It just feels like a lot to put on an already fairly hefty roster. Will we see this new cobalt blue Sinoceratops, this Camp Cretaceous styled Kentrosaurus in the film? Maybe, maybe not. There hasn't really been any rumours supporting these inclusions other than their emergence in this toy line, and it could just be references to past Jurassic World properties. I just wanted to mention this one for the sake of totality because I know it's going to come up and we'll be keeping an eye on this one going forward. As well as the rumoured Edmontosaurus, but again I think it's likely it was either Edmontosaurus or Maiasaura or Parasaurolophus that made it in. Again, we'll listen out for more information on that one as the film nears. Either way, that's it from me, and that's what you can expect at the minimum when Jurassic World Rebirth launches in 6 weeks from today. Which of these species would you be most excited about? Let me know your personal choices in the comment section down below. Throw me a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more Jurassic World Rebirth and general dinosaur nonsense, and I will see you lovely folks very, very soon. Thanks for joining me, cheers much love as always, bye bye.
Rumoured.